Well, it's the end of a work week, Friday morning, and we're going to take a look at the severe weather possibilities as we always do. This is a video I make every morning after the Storm Prediction Center does their morning update, which usually comes right around 8 a.m., sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later. Anyway, this is Friday's look at the satellite for the U.S. And you see a couple of features, big swirl off the northeast coast. No severe weather connected with that, though. This is all unseasonably cool air up here. Meanwhile, we have what is referred to as northwest flow thunderstorms, where the flow, as you can clearly see, is pushing showers and storms that are developing in the plains toward the east-southeast. And that's a trend that will flatten out a little bit over the next couple of days as the severe weather threat really kind of ramps up in the central U.S. Not to the same extent as some of the forecasts that we were making at this time last week, but still, there's some sleeper systems that can occur with these types of scenarios because the air is just juicy and unstable this time of year, and the jet stream, while it can weaken sometimes, but sometimes the instability makes up for that. So we'll keep an eye on that. So here's the simulated radar, and you can see that flow of thunderstorms out of Nebraska into Minnesota, into Missouri, and diminishing a little bit. Meanwhile, other clusters begin to develop, especially that one there in Colorado that moves across Kansas. Others develop in Oklahoma. See, this has been pretty persistent right here. And you have to kind of watch those too, because I remember a derecho back around, what year was that? 2009, I think it was, that started as a rather innocent cluster of storms there and just clocked southwest Missouri. And so I'm going to kind of watch that a little bit. Here's Friday's severe weather forecast from the Storm Prediction Center. It does show and validates that area where thunderstorms will initiate, not just here, but at points along this forecast, but it's clear they all will be sweeping in this general direction. So that's a slight risk, or 2 out of 5 category. Is there a tornado threat in there? Yes, but it's a subset. So it's in the center of that, but it runs from the panhandle of Nebraska through northeast Colorado, parts of Kansas, western Kansas, and kind of curves back. Now, this is an update from what I saw, that when the morning update did not have this, so they added this, and I'll show you why here in a minute. There's a new product I'm taking a look at called Nadocast. You can go to Nadocast.com if you want to look at that and other severe weather probabilities. It's in line with a lot of the other products I've been showing you, but we'll start showing this one a little bit more. And it does show that fragmented, tornado risk that goes up to 3%. Here in Colorado and the Panhandle, Oklahoma. But then there's this other little bullseye here in northeast Oklahoma. And it's also kind of verified by Colorado State University's Machine-Learning program, where it does put a tornado risk at 5% through this area. So a little bit more of Oklahoma and a little bit more of northwest Arkansas and just a sliver of southwest Missouri, with a pretty high hail threat in central Oklahoma, north central Oklahoma, and a wind threat too. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they watch very carefully to see if there's a wind corridor here where just a bowing segment will develop, and we'll just kind of watch that today and see where that ends up. Anyway, the forecast for Saturday, the start of the Memorial Day weekend, has a level 2 out of 5 threat that noses into southwest Missouri, southeast Kansas, and covers much of Oklahoma, and a pretty broad area of the 1 rating too, from Colorado all the way down to Alabama, and all the way down through West Texas. Is there a tornado threat in that? Yes, the XPC is pulling a trigger on a 5% risk in the Oklahoma City area. And again, notice how these are curved. So there's an indication here that unstable air and possibly good wind shear is kind of bubbling up northward. See in this area here. So just keep an eye on this. But the 2% is fairly large too for Saturday, so not a great way to start the holiday weekend. The CSU model verifies that tornado risk here in a corridor as indicated. And the hail risk virtually is unchanged. It just shifts a little bit. So does the wind risk for Saturday. So kind of a stagnant weather pattern. As a matter of fact, if you look at Sunday's severe weather outlook, guess what? It doesn't look a whole lot different. It sinks south a little bit, but we still have this 2 out of 5 risk area for much of Oklahoma, Texas, northwest Texas, and a little bit of western Arkansas. And we'll take a look at what the CSU model has to say about that. They actually put a tornado bullseye in central and north central Arkansas for Sunday. with a hail risk that extends in that same general area and a wind risk that mirrors that as well. Then finally, this sinks south so that the severe weather outlook by the Storm Prediction Center, now once they get to day 4, which is Monday, they change the way they do it. So they only issue 15 or 30% risks of any severe weather within a 25-mile radius. So they pull the trigger on a 15% chance from Dallas south to Austin, not quite as far west as Midland, and a good chunk of eastern Texas as well. Here's the CSU probabilities, and what's nice about that is they show the SPC outlook along with that, so there's a good mirroring going on there. Is that a word? Tuesday, now the severe weather threat just generally diminishes. So Tuesday, we don't see high probabilities. Wednesday, it's just kind of broken. And then on Thursday, maybe an uptick. And here's what this will clarify that. So if I show you the supercell composite, again, this should be a pretty good mirror reflection of all the outlooks I just showed you, and it really is. It kind of sums it up real well, with the possible exception of maybe a few more that develop here. But otherwise, it's pretty much intact. Now, this is week 2, May 30th through the June 5th period, and there's generally an uptick in the high plains severe weather update. The probabilities are not as high during that period, probably a reflection of the fact that we'll have either missing instability or wind, or I would suspect probably missing wind shear and instability are probably okay. And then kind of following climatology, this moves northward. June 6th through the 12th, we see an uptick in the Nebraska area, parts of northwest Kansas with the high supercell probabilities as well. And indeed, the climatology of severe weather, like right around this time of year, is centered here. And in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, it's centered more up here. So that's in line with kind of what we expect on average to be happening this time of year. Thanks for watching today's edition of Severe Thunderstorm Outlooks. This is published every day after the morning Storm Prediction Center update. Also, remember to check that site off on day 1 because they update it fairly frequently. If you like this video, please like it. Also, you can subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.